Now, hi there. Welcome to STEM in 10. This is your weekly podcast to keep you up to date of all of the interesting and fun, cool techs and STEM stories that are happening in Broward County. We concentrate on what Broward County schools, Broward are all of these partnerships doing things. How are you doing today, Dr. Lisa?
I'm doing great. I guess we officially have finished 10 days of school.
10 whole days of school is quite a bit, yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Finished or survived? I think we've survived 10 days of school. I'd like to say I've survived 10 days of school.
I don't have any children in the school, personal children in the school. So I feel like I made it through it. It's great. But you in summer might feel differently.
It is a great thing. And how are you doing today, Miss Denise?
Surviving 10 days of school and lunches and breakfasts and homework and oh my God, homework.
It has been a thing. And today our guest is Miss Summer. How are you doing today, Miss Summer?
Good, thanks. Yeah, I'm surviving as well. My fun's been dealing with buses. Hour and a half long by buses home.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
Makes a middle schooler's day pretty long.
Do we have AC on our buses?
Yes. Apparently there are naps being had and homework being done, so that's a positive. And Pokemon's being taught.
Thing. That's a very good thing. Speaking of doing multiple things, I know Dr. Lisa just got a new job title of handling, what was it, the recycling, Dr. Lisa?
Well, that's part of it because it's STEM. That is part of STEM. So how we make things and how we get rid of things and what we choose, how we choose what we're going to use is actually really what the whole thing is. So we're trying to make less waste because, Broward County is out of space in our landfills. And someone's going to share some of this. We have an eco guide out on our website on browardschools.com/STEM. You can kind of dig your way, just like you dig through the trash, I guess, on the left side to environmental stewardship, and then you'll find the eco guide. And it includes a lot of interesting things that you might be interested to do at home, like gardening, or in this case, recycling. And someone's going to share a little bit about that.
Tell us, Ms. Summer, what's going on with that?
Yes, we are trying to get all schools to reinstate their recycling program. So a lot of people think that recycling is done through the city of Broward County Public Schools, but it's actually done through a contract with Coastal Waste and Recycling at all of the Broward County Public Schools. So we have one vendor who does that. So every school has a big bin in the back of their school for recycling. So we're saying that all schools need to start thinking about creating standard operating procedures to figure out how they can reinstate recycling at their schools, whether it's through a club or through an elective at their school or through the National Honor Society or student government. We need to have our schools find ways to get our recycling back on track. Believe it or not, it's actually cheaper for a school to get their recycling bins hauled away than their trash bins. So recycling, saving the money, schools quite a bit of money to do. On top of this, we've partnered with Solid Waste Authority of Broward County, and we are making curriculum to send out to all schools, and it will be made available to all schools in early September. It'll be available on the Eco Guide, and it'll also be sent out through a pivot memo. The curriculum will be organized by grade band of K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. And each grade band includes lessons across content areas, including ELA, math, science, social studies, STEM, computer science, even debate, art, music, and PE. So we're trying to get all the electives covered so recycling can be taught anywhere at any time. Because we also want this to be a culture shift between with the students, not only in schools, but also bring it home to their households, and they can teach their parents and their siblings and their grandparents how to recycle and how to be better environmental stewards.
I really liked the food recovery page, and I glanced at that earlier. That really has a nice listing for anyone to do it at home, because we stopped doing the food share program. So this really helps people being able to do a lot of stuff at home like they would at school.
And do you know that you're not required to take milk with your school lunch? So if we can get students to not take milk and then throw it out, if they're going to drink the milk, great. But if you're not going to drink your milk, don't take a milk carton. A lot of energy goes into making those milk cartons. filling them with the milk and shipping them to the school. So if we don't need to do that, we can save on the front end and create less waste in the first place.
Right, and along with that, you always want to reduce and reuse before you even get to the recycling aspect and part.
You know, what's funny is my kids like, Mom, they want me to make, they don't like school lunch usually, so I'll make the lunch, but then they're like, can you send milk? And I'm like, why can't you buy the milk at school? It's like, you can't buy the milk without buying the lunch. And it's like, well, that's problematic.
I think you actually can.
Okay, good. I'm going to double check that.
Yes, I think check with the school. I will check that at my next meeting with Food and Nutrition Services. I think you can buy the milk separately. If not, we'll recommend that.
So, Miss Denise, we were just talking pre-show about how to ask those questions.
I know. I was going to say, wow, it's like Lisa set me up for
it is
questions and double checking a response, because today in AI, you can ask a question and get an answer and be like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And when my kids said, I can't, buy me milk. I can't buy milk at school. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So ask an expert. Look at that. I don't know how we landed on this, but this is actually perfect for this Tech Corner topic. So hi, my name is Denise Mendez. I'm your local community engineer and fellow parent in Broward County Public Schools. I have 2 boys at Silver Trail Middle School, and I'm trying to navigate this new world and what their generation is going to face. Well, how do I prepare them for the future? And all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how do I as a parent help guide them? And this week, our section is about asking questions, right? I was doing my homework with my kid last night, and I read that problem and he read that problem, and I'm like, I have no idea what they are asking. And it was a gnarly math problem. And he actually got really frustrated and started crying, which then made me feel like the most horrible person on the planet. So it's like, okay, how do we get AI? How do we use AI to do this? I don't want AI to be, the answer is 42. And for those of you who know that reference, you're welcome. And so it's like, how do we get to this? And so the question is, how do you ask the questions to, when you ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or whatever, AI model is available in your search bar or phone, because everybody's got one nowadays. And the question is, explain, how you do this. Explain the midpoint formula in geometry as if I was in 2nd grade. Or add, explain it to me. I love dragons, so explain it to me if I was a dragon trainer or whatever it is, or whatever thing that your kid is into. I know we got Bob from the future with Dragonslayer Consulting. Use the AI to get creative in helping you explain something better or understand it better, and read it with your kids and gut check your kids.
That is the thing right there that we see in the libraries. So many people are just like, well, give me an answer, and then they just pass it right along without actually reading and thinking. And what do you think about that answer?
What do you think about that answer? Like with my kids saying the school doesn't sell milk, and I'm like, that just doesn't sound right, right? My little spidey sense fired, and I asked an expert, find out for yourself.
And if it doesn't, maybe it should start.
And exactly, right? It's trust, but verify. I trust that my kid is, this is the impression that they got. Verifying, now with an expert, I'm going to go back to my kid. And then if they verify that, in fact, they cannot buy milk at school, which seems like a shame because, like Lisa said, you don't want to throw it away. And some kids are throwing it away. So tell the kids, don't throw it away. Let this one buy it. Now the school benefits twice, right? Or not, or at least we're paying it forward, right? You're not throwing it away. It's landing inside the body where those resources should land to be nutritious for whoever wants it at the time. So, and that's it this week in your Tech Corner. Learn to ask better questions, or not learn to ask, but think about the questions you're asking and ask for more detail or more nuance, or explain it like you're in 2nd grade or to a middle schooler, or because you like dragons.
Or ask the question and ask, if you think you know the answer, give the answer and ask, why is it wrong?
Oh, I do that all the time. It says we should do this, and it's like, tell me why we should do this and tell me why we shouldn't do this, like, and then now you're reading. It's also, this is ironically with cross-referencing, we're checking your sources when you're writing an essay. It's the same kind of concepts, but now we're doing this with language models that are helping us answer questions, but we got to be the ones, the drivers that kind of double click.
You're still in charge.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. Miss Summer, all of your links are in the chat. I know we didn't cover them all, but they're all in the chat for everybody to get to. We will see everybody next week. Also, remember, hit like and subscribe. Share us out and around. This is information that's better than just outside of Broward, so come see us. Have a great week, everybody.